Hey guys, it's Marko again. For today I prepared a Fire Mage guide. Currently there are 3 types of Fire Mages. Full Mastery build with Memory of Lucid Dreams or Full Mastery build with Rolled Wine Resonance. There is also a third build now, Crit Mage, but I won't be covering that one at all because I don't have the needed corruptions to run it. And this is a guide for Memory of Lucid Dreams, so let's get started. Talents. There isn't really a lot of options for talents with this build. You can only change level 90 row. When there is a lot of adds, Living Bomb is a bit better than Conflagration. Essences. This is a straightforward topic. You want to run Memory of Lucid Dreams as a major essence, Conflict and Strife, Essence of the Focusing Iris, and the Formless Void as minor essences. But when I'm in the Mythic Plus keystones, I run Breath of the Dying instead of the Formless Void. Azerite Traits. Having 3 Blaster Masters is a must. You should at least have 1 Wildfire, 2 are also nice. Another good trait is Heart of Darkness, and the last good trait is Firemind. But I prefer the previous ones compared to Firemind. For the last Azerite trait, you want to go with Overwhelming Power. If you can't get your hands onto Overwhelming Power, you can go for the Blood Siphon or the Elemental Whirl. Trinkets. Basically, you just want to run a Shara's Font of Power paired with Corrupted Gladiator's Badge. If you have a low badge, you might consider running Balefire Branch. Thankfully, Trinket situation is quite easy for Fire Mages, but it kinda sucks that we're forced to do PvP and a Shara for them. Corruption. Basically, you want to run your gear with Full Mastery 3 corruptions. As I'm currently speaking, running that will bring you at 66 overall corruption, which is too much for a lot of guilds, including mine. So you should get your corruption to the level your raid leader wants. And for Mythic Pluses, don't go over 40, I don't go over 40, but you can get to 59 if you want, and if the healer can handle it. Stats. First, I'll talk about solo target stats, and then I'll talk about AoE stats. For solo target boss fights, we still run full mastery build. You always want to have all the items with mastery on them. Crit is the least important stat, and you should avoid it. Haste is the second most important stat after mastery, but it's not a lot better than versatility. For my mage, it is ideal to have haste and versatility around the same number. Here are my stat weights for a patchwork fight while having 13.7k intellect, 756 crit, 990 haste, 5k mastery and 950 versatility. AoE situations include Mythic Plus keys and several of the bosses in Alatha. You still are going as much mastery as you possibly can. Second most important stat is again haste, and for AoE situations you want to run a bit more haste than in solo target build. Versatility is again a strong third stat, and crit is the least important one. Here are my stat weights for a hectic fight with 13.7k intellect, 850 crit, 1075 haste, 5.4k mastery and 1035 versatility. And here are my stat weights with 13.6k intellect, 850 crit, 1210 haste, 5.3k mastery and 910 versatility. Even though I had a bit more haste from equipping my 465 item level haste mastery gloves, my sim resulted in less DPS than running my 475 versatility mastery gloves. As you can see, item level is quite important, and that's why the best weapon for fire mages is weapon from Carpus. Even though it has crit on it, it has a way bigger item level than the other weapons. Opener and rotation. For the opener, you want to have a 20 seconds pull timer, and you use Font of Power at 18 seconds before the pull. I like to use Blazing Barrier so I absorb incoming damage before the pull, so the healers have less trouble healing me. At 4ish seconds before the pull, depends on your haste, you want to use your Intellect Potion and precast Pyroblast. We can also do this 2ish seconds before the pull with Fireball. You're doing this for a bit more extra damage and a chance for a crit to heat up. But if you're lazy like me, you can just pre-pot at pull without casting a fireball, and then you just want to use Fire Blast plus Memory of Lucid Dreams, followed by casting Time Wrap. I usually don't do this because other mages in my guild are in charge of it. After it, you do your Rune of Power, followed by Meteor, Fire Blast, then you hit your Combust macro. Your Combust macro consists of popping Combust, popping your Trinkets or Corrupted Gladiator's badge, and in my case, because I'm a troll, I'm gonna do Berserking. After it, you just cast Pyroblast, Fire Blast, Pyroblast, Fire Blast, until you run out of your Fire Blast stacks. At that moment, you make sure that the last spell you casted was Fire Blast, so that your bracers from Mechagon return as much Fire Blast as they can. And then you just continue blasting. Also, after the moment you use your Mechagon bracers, you can also use Counterspell, because Counterspell interacts with Memory of Lucid Dreams and you can get your stack of Fire Blast back. Near the end of the Combust, I cast one Scorch to keep up my crit going, because I'm gonna be low on the Fire Blasts, and after that I use my Rune of Power immediately after my last one disappears, and then I just continue blasting. And after that point, your main goal is to keep 3 Blaster Master stacks as long as you possibly can. I mean, you're gonna run out of it quite soon if you're not lucky with Memory of Lucid Dream procs. After the intense start, your fuse burns out and you continue to hit your target as a wet noodle. And after that point, when I have a new Rune of Power ready, I kinda want to get to have my instant Pyroblast before I cast Rune of Power, and to have at least 2 Fire Blast stacks. So I get my heat up, then I use one Fire Blast, cast my Rune of Power into another Fire Blast, Pyroblast, so you just make a small burst window there. It's not a lot, but it can help, and also use Meteor with your Rune of Power then. After this Rune of Power, I completely chill out and just wait for my next Combust. I use the Azerite Trinket off cooldown and I get a hot streak, save my Fire Blasts, and pop my potion Memory of Lucid Dreams, Rune of Power, Meteor Combust, and exact the same opener as I did in the first time. This Combust is gonna be a bit weaker and it's gonna be a bit harder to keep up your Blaster Master stacks, because you won't have your Bloodlust up. Also, important thing to think about is that you should sometimes save your Combust for large ad packs. For example, Hivemind. You want to Trinket 12 seconds before the pull, so not 20, and work out your hot streak and start full blasting the boss at 8 seconds, because then the ads spawn and your passive ignite is going to kill everything. Now I'm just gonna show you my opener and rotation until the second Combust, without me talking, so you can just watch the video.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
that's it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it and that you learned something today. And until next time, take care.